Hello and welcome to our AxonOps Masterclass, where today we will be featuring AI plus Cassandra. We're going to build and operate smarter. We're going to demonstrate and discuss this with you today, and we are going to cover three key areas. The first one is AI assisted CQL development, smarter code suggestions, optimization tips, and improved accuracy. The second area we're going to be covering is AI managed infrastructure, practical approaches to leverage AI for the provisioning and analysis of DB infra. And then the third area we're going to be touching on is a look into the future. Our masters discuss the future of AI initiatives enhancing how we operate our data infrastructure. Now, I'm Steve Benson. I lead the community engagement here at AxonOps, and I'm going to be your host for today's masterclass. Now, to host a masterclass, we need our masters. So let me introduce the experts joining us today. We've got two of the best in the business. We've got Hayato and John. So Hayato, our AxonOps CTO and founder, and John, consultant and Cassandra committer. Great to have you both with us.
Good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here.
Excellent.
Exciting.
Now I'm gonna give you 20 seconds each just to give a very quick intro of yourselves and all the glory that that surrounds you in this area and topic. So Hayato, you got 20 seconds. Tell us a little bit about what makes you the master.
Because I got all the ugly battle scars from fighting in production in the middle of the night, so many nights, sleepless nights, all of those kind of things. So that's why.
Excellent.
There we
There we
go.
go. You've
John's
heard it
probably
there.
got the same sort of stories there.
Yeah, I definitely do. I found myself in the odd position of being thrown into a lot of dumpster fires and trying to figure out what's going on with pretty much no info. Um, yeah, very kind of fun, honestly. I like it.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more about some of the battle scars and things that you've been up to over this next hour. So we're looking forward to that. But just before we start diving into those areas, let me just share one slide for you today. We're not really going to be covering many slides today, but there's just one slide I just want to give a quick shout out. So, and this is for particularly for those of you new to AxonOps, and this is really just to let you know who we are. So, AxonOps provides powerful software and support for unified monitoring and operations across Cassandra and also now Kafka clusters. And this is all through a single pane of glass. And kind of where this originated from was because of the frustration across the lack of reliable tooling, which some of you may be aware of. Okay, our team of veteran data platform experts built AxonOps to ensure mission critical platforms stay healthy and resilient. And that's a little bit about us here at AxonOps. So if you just joined us, a special welcome. It's good to have you here. It's fantastic to see so many of you coming on. We've had over 100 registrations, which is really good. And we just shared a little bit about us and who we are. Before we dive in, we just want to find out a little bit more about you, if that's okay. So we've just got one poll which I'd like to launch now. And this is just to understand a little bit about your Cassandra levels. So get ready. You should have your console there. And by the way, whilst I'm just on the console, you will see that there is a box there where you can put your comments in. You can ask us questions. There should be a question box there for you. So if you've got any questions at all, just fire away. We'll try and answer those as best we can as we go along. We may have a few at the end as well. But whatever questions you've got around what you're hearing today, or even just around Cassandra itself. So here we go. Let's have a look at the poll we've got here that we've just launched. So Cassandra skill levels. How experienced are you with Cassandra? New and inexperienced, we've got 21% at the moment. Somewhat experienced, we're on 57%. Very experienced, we've got 18%. I'm an expert, we've got one person in the house at 4%. they're an expert. We have another master with us. So let's, I'm just going to, if you've not voted on which one of those you think you are, quickly vote now, because I am just about to end the poll. And then we are going to get going straight away. Oh, and one other very important thing, we are recording this session. So you will be getting a recording early part of next week. We'll be following up with you all. So look forward to that. I'm going to end the poll now, and we are going to share the results with you. So there we are. You can see for yourselves. We've still got that person with us that's an expert. We want to know who you are. Let us know who you are through the question box. That would be really great to know. A special welcome to you all, whether you are new and inexperienced or whether you are an expert. Great to have you with us. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move on now. And before we really dive into this, guys, let's just have a little discussion, can we? Just for a couple of minutes, because I feel like we need to have a little bit of a backdrop here in terms of introducing what we said we're going to talk about today. So Hayato and John, we're going to get started. And as I said, before we dive in, I'd like you to share a little bit of context around the topics today. Hayato, I know you're going to be covering aspects from the data perspective, and John, you're going to be focusing a little bit more from the operational side. But to begin with, why is CQL AI so important?
So it's, over the years of kind of working with Cassandra, and I started using Cassandra since when was it? 0.6. And it's just been kind of, over the years, like, I wish it could do this, I wish it could do that. And over the years, kind of just been building up my own tools or automation systems or monitoring or whatever it may be. And then AxonOps is actually kind of one of those things that came out of my shopping basket wish list. Yeah. And then the other aspect is kind of, when you're a Cassandra operator, you always kind of constantly kind of interact with CQL and, running queries. And there's been so many times where as a kind of a services vendor initially, and a software vendor as well, going into customers' infrastructure and then trying to install CQLSH, which is a Python-based application, which is a command line tool to interact with Cassandra. Its installation has always been a nightmare because of the Python dependencies and whatnot. And every environment's different, every OS is different in terms of Linux. And I just had to go, okay, I need to do something about this. And that's that's what became out of it. And whilst I was at it, obviously the AI thing's just sort of, is the big topic right now. I thought, why don't I just add a nice little feature for, especially for beginners of Cassandra, people who come into Cassandra fresh and never used it before. And if there was a tool like this when I had started using Cassandra, it would have massively saved a lot of time. So that's kind of our thing, really. That's why I built this.
Okay, great. And John, anything you want to add to that? And then we're gonna dive straight in.
Yeah, I mean, I think we once again kind of had a similar background. I think Hayato got started with Cassandra even earlier than I did. So I know when I got started in the 1.1 days, there was there wasn't a ton of information out there, and there was actually a lot of incorrect information out there. Depending on what you Google, sometimes you'll get a good answer, and then sometimes you'll get information that's completely terrible. Or like on the operation side, for me, the thing that was really tricky was understanding the right configuration to put into production. The old Cassandra YAML, the old environment settings were actually really not well tuned. So if you were to take the stock configuration and put that in production, your performance would actually be really bad for certain types of workloads. That's where I ended up getting into GC tuning. I had to really understand what was happening in the JVM in order to properly tune Cassandra, and that was actually a really difficult thing for us, because when you open up the old when you open up the old Cassandra env.sh, it would literally say like, this is how it works, and it was wrong. So I would have loved to have like a really big knowledge base that I could tap into that had been really vetted over time. More experts to kind of collaborate with. The community was really excellent in helping me get going. This is back when we were on IRC. But like for me, I think the thing was just how do we find reliable information that we can actually put to use, and that was a big struggle for me.
Okay, well, guys, I'm going to let you guys crack on and take the drive. But we've just had a quick question in from Brad S. So thanks, Brad, for your question. And by the way, guys, Q&A, the little Q&A box, jump on there, ask your question, comments. Is this hitting the right spot? Do you want to know more about a particular area that we're covering? Whatever it is, just let us know. But Brad S has said, I fixed CQLSH so you can pip install it even on Windows. There we are. I mean, Brad's got to be the expert in the house, perhaps. Maybe he's that one. There we are. We want to know, Brad, how expert are you? Right, guys, over to you. Take it away.
All right.
Yeah, and actually, sorry, I got to jump in. I got to give a shout out to Brad for doing that CQLSH. It actually saved me a ton of time recently with my easy. I've mentioned this before in a lot of different settings. My easy Cas lab, now it's easy DB lab. It actually saved me a ton of time from getting something to work in there. So shout out to Brad.
And John, we're going to give a shout out as well to that later on. So we've got a slide at the end. So make sure you hang on to the end, everybody, because there's some very, very helpful links we're going to be putting up for you, including what John just mentioned there. All right, that's me. I'm not going to say a word now. Guys, over to you.
All right. I think the ordering today is it's just me starting here with the CQLAI, and then John's kind of his thing. So I'll get started. So CQLAI. So what is it? It's open source Apache licensed. It's a CLI for Apache Cassandra, and let me just move on to the next slide. So it's on GitHub, as most projects are, Apache 2.0 licensed. It's written in Golang. One of the kind of inspirations was kind of a Golang driver being contributed into the Apache project, and they've made a significant progress in terms of the kind of compatibilities and features and things like that. And I've been monitoring the progress because we do use kind of Golang clients quite a bit for some of our applications. And I thought it's matured enough so that we could start considering this for something like the CLI, and that's how it started. And it's buildable into the native Windows, Mac, and Linux, and it's all kind of in GitHub Actions to generate all the different builds, including the ARM ones as well. So do check it out on the GitHub website. And the currently supported database Cassandra, in that I've only tested against Cassandra, although I'm sure it may work for other kind of CQL-based databases as well, as long as they comply with the CQL protocol. And yeah, so why? Because I just got tired of doing the Python dependency stuff, and yeah, I thought, right, okay, I want to learn to a bit deeper into the CQL protocol myself as well. So I just wanted to kind of just go deeper, etc. There's a kind of my own agenda around learning side of things. It always is with these kind of things. I thought, all right, let's build something for myself, and if anyone else likes it, then that's great. Then and also CQLSH, Mac, Windows, Linux. I think Brad says works on Linux, sorry, Windows with a pip now, so that's good. This is just an alternative. The other aspect of this is that the CQLSH started to feel a bit dated. The investment in CQLSH has somewhat come limited. I think just about kept up with the different versions of Cassandra. But yeah, it just did not have that kind of UI investment in the CQLSH kind of interactivity aspect of it. And when you look at this diagram or the screenshot here, you've got a lot of columns, and you do kind of a select star, and then you can do expand on and things, but I just want to see the kind of columnar structure of the data and things like that as well. So I was kind of figuring out or trying to kind of research are there any better ways of doing this, and I stumbled across a really nice terminal UI library called Charmland. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a Golang framework for building really beautiful terminal UI applications. Terminal UIs are, still, the VT100s still is going strong. So yeah, we're still kind of using it, and it's still the way into the server infrastructure. And so I know Johnny built a great workbench for Cassandra. It's great for your desktop, and this is kind of more for the server side terminal access into Cassandra. I've used GoSQL driver. I mean, CQLSH still, that was my main inspiration for CQL AI, in that it is the tool for accessing Cassandra, but I just wanted a little bit more than that. And then whilst I was at it, I wanted to learn a bit more about AI, how to interact with the AI, APIs, etc. So I baked that into the code. So I will walk through what that looks like. The features: single binary distribution, single file. Yeah, so that gets installed. So there's no dependencies. It's ELF binary. It's so yeah, you can install it anywhere on all the Linuxes and any other kind of a POSIX compliant distribution, or even on Windows with a Golang. So that's great. I really wanted the kind of a rich terminal UI experience. So things like, when I'm using less in the terminal, I noticed that you can use a mouse scroll up and down to go up and down the text files. And I thought, I wonder if I could implement something like that for the table view for the Cassandra. So that's one of the things, as and then Vim style key bindings. I know CQLSH has got that built in as well. And then some of the things like data import and export. I do this quite a bit for some of the customers. And CSV JSON output is something I wanted to add, and also Apache Parquet as the import export output format of this. Cassandra 5 support. Everyone should be on Cassandra 5, right, John? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about that later. It's incredible how much better it is than previous releases.
Yeah. I've seen when we migrated some of the Cassandra clusters to 5.0, the latency just dropped, and the CPU just drops, and it's brilliant. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing improvement even from 4.1. So. And then the last feature there is the AI integration. It's an optional integration because people get scared of the security aspect of AI, especially use of open AIs and things like that. But it is completely optional. You don't need to use it. But yeah, if you're in a development environment, it might be kind of quite handy to be integrated. It also works with a standard AI API, so I think or Llama and things like that. It should work with that as well. So the kind of the AI architecture of it is that you've got CQL AI application. So when the user sends a query, which is in natural language like English, and sends, I want to read the data from this table or whatever that may be, that goes to the AI provider, and that's in the step 2 as a request. As part of the step 2 request, it also sends the available tools that are in CQL AI. So things like functions that lists tables and key spaces and so on. Yeah, I've also baked in a fuzzy search capable function of key spaces and tables in the tools, and I register that with the AI provider. And then Depending on the question, AI goes, oh, I do need to look up the key spaces or the tables from the schema. So then AI responds back with a tool call saying, hey, give me the list of key spaces or tables or schemas or whatever it may be. It's not the tools don't return the data, only the schema information. Okay. And then the schema information goes back from the tools to the AI provider. And then AI provider then generates the CQL for you, which then CQL AI will, or you can choose to execute it against your Cassandra cluster. And then you get the data back into CQLI, which then gets displayed to the user. So that's the kind of architecture there. Now, you may have heard of terminologies like model context protocols, MCP. Tools is a standard kind of AI framework. It's a more simplified version compared to the MCP, but it is a standardized framework for simpler use cases like this. Okay, and there are libraries available for you to do it, of course, and write your code against that. So it's a fairly simple way of implementing it. That's all in CQLI. If you're interested, it's in the GitHub, so have a look. And then AI provider, so it's APIs, Anthropic, OpenAI, or Llama. You can add Gemini, etc. Okay, so that's the architecture. All right. So the next thing is the demo. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And if you have any questions, do kind of fire them away. Oh yeah, Colleen says, are there Cassandra versions that this does not work? It's compatible to down to version 2.1, I believe. So that's, yeah. So Golang library for 2.0 is compatible to 2.1, I believe. So yeah, should work with that. All right. And then let me just find the button to share my screen. Where is it? Lost the buttons.
Share the green share screen right at the bottom.
There it is. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we've got another
Right.
question coming. Let's just check that one out.
Let's go through the demo, then architecture again, please. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
And
Right.
just to let you all know, just to jump in really quick, to let you all know, if you did come in late, we are recording this. So if you don't quite get it the first time, you can go back, and this is going to be on demand as well. So we'll communicate that out early next week. But yeah, Hayato.
Right. So CQL AI is completely compatible with a existing CQL RC file. So if you've got that already baked into your .Cassandra, ./Cassandra CQL RC file, it will find it and then it will start using it. But the kind of a preferred way is the JSON file. So we've got the JSON example here. So you've got the host, port, usernames, password, etc. Your AI, API keys, etc. And there's a whole bunch of other configurations you do, like default consistency level, and you name it. It's all there. But the full documentation in the GitHub. So I do have a look. And then if I do CQL AI, it will fire up CQLI and it's already connected to Cassandra. At this point, it would have scanned through the schema and it would have cached it locally in your CQL AI session. So there you go. And then let me just move this blob off thing here. All right. So the standard kind of select statements or describe. So you've got this kind of if you do des and then type tab, you've got this tab completion here that pops up. So that's kind of leveraging the terminal UI application capabilities and describe key spaces. Here we go. Boom. And then this key space. system schema, for example. So you've got that. And I'm using my mouse to go up and down, but you can see that there's no scroll bar. I've removed it. Yeah, it's actually kind of cached in the session of the terminal, and it's allowing you to go up and down. Now, if I do select start from system schema columns, or for example, it opens up the terminal, table view. And then if I can scroll up and down the data, it's got things like this, the connection information, the Cassandra version, the user, host, key space. If I do use key space, it will pop up there. The current consistency level, all of the kind of information that you want to know about, where you didn't have this information in CQLSH. It's got things like the last ran command here. Right now, it's the table view mode. The last query took 191 milliseconds. It's got 313 rows. Yeah. So it's got a lot of information that you didn't see before in CQLSH. And these are the sort of things, as I said, shopping list of my wish list. Yeah. That's I have implemented those. So things like trace off, but if I do tracing on, so the tracing is now on. And if I do the select statement again, and then if there's right now we're in the table mode, but if one of the function keys, F4, goes into the trace mode, yeah, in the CQLSH, if you do the tracing, it's also printed out the tracing information, the same scroll of information that you got with the table values. But now I've separated that into different views. So you've got the CQL view, you've got the table view, and then you've got the trace view. Okay, so yeah, you can see, if I do oh yeah, that's another feature I want to show you, is that I can scroll horizontally on the table. Yeah, so rather than having to kind of see a broken view of the table that's used to have, it's actually structured very well. Yeah, and then I've got other features like sorry, here F6 shows you the column, toggles the column type. So varchar, etc. And then if I scroll to the right, you can see blobs, int, etc. Okay, so these are some of the things I really, really wanted in the CQLSH terminal that I've implemented in CQLAI. And then one of the views I was showing you was the AI view. So AI conversation. So this is where you can type in the natural language, like, I want to know what key spaces there are. And then this goes off and presents the tooling to the AI. Say, here's the list key spaces command or function. And then AI calls that tooling and then gets back the list of key spaces. And here it is. What tables are there in system auth? Question mark. And gives me the tables. I mean, this is simple kind of examples, but you can do more complex things as well. And then finally, I want to fetch all rows from the roles table. And this will generate the CQL that you need to run, and then gives you an option to execute it. Okay, so then execute, and boom, it will give you the results there. So I can see some questions there. Would you consider CQL AI to be an alternative to DataStax's Ops Center for monitoring, especially in environments that are air-gapped or have limited resources? Now, CQL AI is more of a replacement to CQLSH rather than Ops Center. Ops Center is a kind of an operations tool. So no, I don't see the CQL AI being an alternative to Ops Center. And then you have trained the models as well. Another question. No, I didn't train the models at all. So this is a purely kind of open AI knowing exactly what to do as to, generation of the CQL commands. Okay, hopefully that answers the question.
I think, I think just to say though, Hayato, AxonOps itself is really the replacement to the Ops Center on the
Exactly.
DataStax side. So we won't forget that, of course, very important.
All right, so that's there's a whole bunch of other features like exporting to Parquet files and importing from Parquet files, but today's more topic's more about AI, and so hopefully kind of that demonstrate the AI capabilities. All these questions have got limitations like I want to query MongoDB and oops, I'm the wrong view. Sorry. I want to query MongoDB. So I've already prepped the AI to not kind of answer anything other than Cassandra or SQL related questions. This is, the answer is, if you can't see it, the request is about MongoDB, which is not related to Cassandra or SQL. So just blankly refuse to answer any questions outside of the Cassandra and SQL. Okay. There we go. So hopefully you can start to play with it. It's open source. There's a whole bunch of Yum, Debian, Docker packages all available. So yeah, you can just quickly start using it.
This is awesome. I actually haven't seen this demo before. I love this. I'm adding this to my tooling today. This is so great.
See, we're giving our secrets away now, John,
Oh
that we
my
haven't
God, I
practiced
love
this
it.
webinar for hours, have we? This is live and new to us all.
Honestly, this is like directed at me. Like I feel like you're just talking to me right now. I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
Excellent. Well, look,
Yeah.
we've got a couple of other questions, I think, coming in as well. What are the
Yes.
other CQL types databases that can be plugged in? And also, can we use this CQL AI for data stacks? So there's a couple of questions in on that. Do you
Yeah,
guys
I
want to?
mean, as long as it's compliant with the CQL protocol, it should work. Now, so like, I have not tested this with SealerDB or Yugabyte CQL, CYQL, or whatever the acronym is, or the and so on. I've not tested it. So, if people want to test it, great. If it doesn't work, raise a support ticket or just, send a pull request or whatever. And the data stacks, do you mean Astra or do you mean like the data stacks enterprise? I don't see why you wouldn't work with data stacks enterprise. So yeah, and then DDL statements as well. Yeah, it's all the DDL, DMLs, and roles and anything that CQLSH supports are supported. So that should be fine. And you can kind of run it as a command line and with a -E option against the CQL file. So you will run against files. So all the things that CQLSH does, it does as well. And on top of that, it's got the terminal UI and various other features on top. So
Great. Okay. Right. We
all
want to
right.
get, if it's okay, we're going to go, John. We're going to go straight to you now. Just doing a quick time check on this. You've got about 18 minutes. Is that
Okay.
good? Can you do it?
That's I'll make it work. Uh,
Okay.
and
Let's
honestly,
go.
I'm not even upset. Usually I can't wait to start talking.
Yeah, I know. You've been really
I
quiet,
was
actually, haven't you?
mesmerized. I was like, oh, yes.
Love it. That's good.
Yeah. Well, what I love about this is that Hayato really kind of teed me up to go straight into like, my stuff. Um, so one of the interesting kind of things about trying to work with Cassandra, as I mentioned before, is that there's a lot of incorrect information out there, and sometimes it can be really hard to get uh, good quality advice. And when you do get good quality, or when you do get advice, it's a really good idea to test things out in a lab environment and make sure that things are going to work as promised. And maybe the advice that you got is good, but it doesn't really apply to your exact situation. Maybe you need to like make some tweaks. Maybe your something about what you're doing might be a little bit different. And as so I haven't just been a consultant for the past few years. I was the principal consultant at TLP, the last pickle prior to it getting acquired by DataStax. A lot of what I did there was figuring out broken clusters and helping people through difficult situations. And one of the things that I found really early on is that I really wanted to verify everything that I was telling people, because sometimes there'd be some questions that were outside of what I had done previously. Maybe it was like a question about a setting that I hadn't used before. And so what I really wanted to do was recreate their environment and do a test and verify everything and then show those results. Basically, like, hey, here are the graphs, here's what I did, here are the steps to reproduce. This is something I want you to be able to do. And so basically that kind of kicked off two projects for me. One was called TLP stress and the other one was called TLP cluster. The stress test was really because I found Cassandra stress to be inadequate for doing any type of stress testing. It was incredibly difficult to configure. I know very few people that have successfully actually used Cassandra stress. I have no idea how to use it. Like, I've been a committer on this project for over half a decade, and I have no idea how to tailor Cassandra stress to do what I want. And then there's also the side where you say, I want to have a lab environment. Now, as a as a person that's coming in to try and help you out, you don't really want to wait around for me to like manually provision an environment that's exactly like yours to like duplicate the situation. So I built this lab provisioning tool, and it's a little bit different than how folks will behave, like what folks need in kind of more of an enterprise setting or like a large scale setting. Usually you kind of have standard environments. I needed like the most flexible tool possible where I could spin up a cluster, any version, different instance sizes. Sometimes you want to use local storage. Sometimes you want to use disaggregated storage. Really needed a tool that was flexible enough to, um, mimic the environment that the customer had and do tests to show that my advice was actually good advice, or sometimes even find out that the thing that I thought was good advice was actually not good advice. It happens to everybody. So I ended up in this spot where I found myself wanting to build my knowledge up. Like, I built tools that allowed me to understand a lot more. And one of the things that's really kind of interesting about the new AI side of things is that, yeah, you can ask questions to Claude or Chat GPT, but one of the things that you'll find pretty quickly is that a lot of the information that you'll get out of it is completely wrong. Sometimes it will just make things up. Sometimes it will tell you to use a compaction strategy that doesn't exist. Like, it's really kind of, sometimes it can be really unreliable if you don't give it guardrails to operate on. And that doesn't apply just to like asking it questions. It also applies to whether we're going to put like AI inside of our production environments and like let it make decisions about the things that we're doing. Like, if you're thinking about using it to provision a cluster, the question is like, what role does it play in that environment? And it can honestly, if you go in and you're thinking, hey, this is going to be great, and you just like let it start doing stuff, it's probably not going to work out for you. You're going to end up with really weird data models, settings that don't make sense. And if you just like let it loose in your environment, you're probably going to destroy your entire company. It just doesn't really work on that sort of reliable mechanism. You really need a human in the loop checking everything that's going on. So I've basically kind of been thinking about these problems for a while, and I have my own projects that are meant to kind of address this. So I mentioned my lab software. That's now called EasyDB Lab. It actually supports more than just Cassandra. And TLP Stress is now known as Cassandra Easy Stress. It's actually been donated to the project. It comes with a bunch of workloads built in that test the various ways that you would actually use Cassandra. And they're all, and both tools are, especially Cassandra Easy Stress, is really like, it's designed to be super easy to use. Like you can start benchmarking in under 10 minutes when you install it. It's very straightforward. So then there's the question of like, how do we get good advice? How do we use tools like Claude? How do we use tools like ChatGPT to figure out like, how should I actually run a cluster? So these things are actually all related. The really interesting thing is if you have a bunch of knowledge and you're not sure about something, you run an experiment, and the results of that experiment then feed back into your knowledge. And that loop is really critical. That's how we learn. And so what I've done is spent the last, God, I don't even know how long I've been working on this. If you were to include the time of developing original tools, I've been working on this problem for close to a decade. And what's really exciting is now we're at the point where I can kind of bring it all together in this way that lets me make my knowledge available as like that I've gained consulting. Usually I just post post on the blog, or I post on LinkedIn or wherever, or in an engagement. What I really wanted though is to be able to spread more knowledge around. I actually want to help more people. So what I've done is I've written down a lot over the years, and I brought it all together in this giant knowledge base. I'm going to show you how that works just quickly here, because I have let's see, is this going to let me share my screen? Oh my God, it's not letting me share my screen. It's like, oh, hold on. Let's see if it lets me do it without restarting. Please don't bounce me out. Quit and reopen. Nope. We won't be doing that. Let's see. Here we go. We have it?
Yep. I got it. Well
Okay,
done.
great. So here's one of the things I've been working on. So this is my knowledge assistant. And this is where I've taken, like I said, this is 12 years of experiments and advice, and me kind of taking a lot of what I've done. Every time I learn something, I write it down, I put it in here. And Hayato mentioned the MCP protocol. What I've done is I've exposed the information through a custom search. So this is actually doing its own search and ranking in order to try and deliver my practical best practices and advice and tests combined with the information that's available in the documentation, merging it all together to give people actual reliable answers. Instead of saying, use the funky foot compaction strategy, not a thing, you will actually get really good advice. So like here is an example where if you were to ask Claude, like, should I use unified compaction strategy, UCS? Depending on when Claude was trained, you may get good advice, you may get bad advice. It might tell you, no, use size tiered, it's the default, or use that funky foot one that I mentioned earlier. So, if I say, hey, is UCS a good, can you see this? Is this, I hope this is big enough. Is UCS a good replacement for STCS? It queries my knowledge assistant, and it will tell you, hey, here are the reasons why it's better. Here's why it works. Here are the problems associated with size-tiered compaction strategy. Here's our migration process. It even knows about the versioning. It knows that UCS was introduced in Cassandra 5.0, and so it's not available to use otherwise. It can tell you that right here. It tells you how to migrate. And then we can say, hey, what about LCS? Well, it turns out that the first time that I threw this question at Claude, because I was really curious about what knowledge it had been trained on, it originally told me no. It said, no, LCS is the way to go for read heavy tables. Like, I had a table. I said, hey, here's my schema. This is what it looks like. What should I do? And it was like, and I'm on 5.0, and it was like, use LCS. But the reality is that if you run the experiments, you'll find that UCS is a significantly better compaction strategy. It is a phenomenal compaction strategy. And so just a quick anecdote here, I recently helped a customer that was struggling with node density. They were really trying to get their cost of running Cassandra down. They were running 3 terabytes a node, but to lower your cost of running Cassandra, you need to put as much data on each node as possible. It becomes a density problem because disks are cheaper than CPU. Like, if you can put a ton of disks in one box versus a ton of disks and a ton of CPU, like, you got to pay for the disks anyway. So you want to minimize the number of CPUs. That's how you keep your cost low. They had a cost problem. They said, John, how do we solve this? UCS was a key component in making that happen. But if you had asked Claude, it would never have said, well, you're on 4.0. Your problem is that you're using size-tiered compaction strategy. You're not able to take advantage of zero-copy streaming, and you're running incremental repair. But with size-tiered compaction strategy and incremental repair, you actually are dealing with like this mess in anti-compaction. That's why Reaper is telling you that it's going to take 2 years to run through your repair. So these guys were like, what do we do? So I went through this whole process with them. And now I just found out that they are at 16 terabytes per node, and they're spending less now than when they had half of the amount of data in their cluster. So this is like, so I was able to lower their cost by over 50%, and they're just super happy. Now, they would never have been able to figure this out because this information wasn't really available anywhere. No one had written it down. Nobody kind of had told them, and there was no way that they were going to find this out on the mailing list because this is literally not written anywhere ever. So it's through the process of experimentation with my lab software and the stress software that I was able to write this down, channel this into the knowledge base. And now what's really cool is using things like CQL AI, where you can tap into like external knowledge sources. Like, there's an amazing amount of like integration that can be done in a variety of tools. So this is just Claude Code, which I use pretty much constantly, where I've added the knowledge assistant. And so I can ask questions, theoretical questions, about my environment, but I can also ask practical questions. If I plug in, like, let's say I plug in AxonOps and I say, hey, like, look at my cluster, like, what's the schema look like? Can you make any recommendations for tuning this? And it can go ahead and it can look at it, and like, it can say, okay, yeah, like here's the checklist of things that I need to look at. It can look at each of them and give you real practical advice backed by the knowledge assistant. So this is the thing that I'm really, really excited about.
Now, John, I'm going to jump in really quick because it is really exciting. It's great. It's really good what you're showing us there. So you've got about 3 minutes left.
Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Well, you got 3 minutes, and I know you mentioned AxonOps there, but I know that you do use it, quite closely in connection, in conjunction.
Yeah, I do, yeah. And so I ran into a bug with my my configuration here, where I wasn't able to get a result for it. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave that out today. I don't know if it was a me thing, but I only have 3 minutes anyway. So
2.5 now.
Yeah. So I mentioned there's the actual experimentation point. Like, I encourage people to experiment. That's why my lab software is open source. But honestly, doing experiments, if you don't know how to do it or you don't know how to interpret the information, can be really difficult as well. So I've also been designing a workflow tool that I can use to run these experiments, and then I can use the results of those experiments and feed that information back into my knowledge base. So I don't know how easy this is to read here. I have this workflow that is a version comparison. So if we were to say, if we were to ask ourselves, hey, like I have Cassandra 5 now. What's the performance look like of Cassandra Trunk? How can we, like, how much money can I save by upgrading? Like, that is a really kind of difficult question to answer unless you spend a lot of time getting into the weeds. But what I've done is I've built this workflow tool where you can define what your clusters look like. You can tell it what these instances are. And then you can define a series of steps and ask it to run an automated analysis and comparison at the end. So the really cool thing is when all of this stuff comes together, when you say, I have a knowledge assistant, I want to know, like, what changes can I do to improve the performance here? Or, what's available in the next version of Cassandra? Will it help me reduce the cost of running my environment? Well, this is how I can test that. So basically, if I plug all this into Claude, I can use my knowledge assistant to generate a list of recommendations, and then I can generate an A/B test or multiple tests. This can actually run any number of clusters and then do a comparison across all of them and give you the performance results. So it's not just a way of getting advice, but a way of verifying that advice is correct. So I'm using this now every single day, and I'm going to be using it for the next release of Cassandra. It's going to be running tests overnight. It's going to be running tests constantly. This knowledge base, my goal is to have the most comprehensive knowledge base in the world that you can plug into your Slack chat, that you plug into your, you could just use in Claude. But the idea is, let's bring all the knowledge that I've gained over the course of my life running Cassandra and be able to share that with everybody. So instead of being bottlenecked on me as one person, I want to be able to distribute this, make these tools available, and help people do a better job of running Cassandra and save a lot of money. Because that example I gave before about saving 50%, that's actually not a one-off. That's like what I've been doing my entire career. And it's I want to give that to more people. I want to put it in more hands.
Excellent. Well, look, John, I know that you wanted to demo the integration as well into AxonOps today. So I'm going to ask you this live, John. Are you up? Are you up for doing this and running another masterclass after this one?
We will definitely do another one.
We can dig into that a little bit more. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I would love to.
Excellent. All right. So we've not finished yet. We've still got questions coming in. If you guys want to, if the guys that are listening, if there's something that you particularly want to see, then let us know. We'll do our best on that. We're probably going to go a few minutes over. So if you can stay and you have got more questions, and we'll hang around for you on that one. But just guys, I just wanted to say, AxonOps in collaboration with John will be making the AI capability available for testing as part of an early access program. So we want to kind of know if this is something that you'd like to take advantage of. Now, to be clear, this is only going to be included extended access to the enterprise features of AxonOps, and it's not obviously going to be available in the free enterprise. It's only going to be included extended access to the enterprise. So we're going to just launch a poll just to get a little bit from you, because you've been listening really well. We've had some really good questions coming in. Let's just get the poll ready. Here we are. I'm going to launch it now. We'd like to know, when would you like to try it out? Here we go. So is it immediately? 1 to 3 months, maybe something that you're looking to do, close into the new year, maybe not quite yet, or maybe it's just not the right time. I've also,
I'm like,
John,
right now.
I've also got coming in. Yes, I think I've got confirmation it's going to be in the free version as well. There we are. Look at that. You've heard it live. So we just made it on the free version as well. Look at that. Look at this immediately. Wow, 35%. 1 to 3 months, another 35%. So most of you are pretty much looking to get this up and running over this next quarter, which is great. And maybe one or two others just having a little bit more of a viewpoint on it at the moment. So, John, any comments? Hayato, any comments to the? Let me just end the poll. If you're not voted, you've got 2 more seconds, and then I'm going to end it. Okay. I think we've got most people on. There we are. Excellent. I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to share the results. There we are. Any comments, guys, at all?
When you like trying? Yeah, AxonOps. Look at that. Oh
Wow.
70% of people are looking to do it in the next quarter. I love it.
Okay, so just as a follow-up, so we will reach out to yourselves on that. So expect a reach out. That probably is going to come from myself, but obviously I'll be working with our masters on this as well. So we'll give you a reach out next week on that one. Great. We are nearly running out of time. We've just got a couple of questions. Let's just hit these. In fact, actually, you know what? Just before we come to the questions, I've got one really important slide that I just want to share with you. And it's also to thank you as well for your time. Let's have a look here. Hang on. Let's just stop sharing the poll for a minute. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just share my screen now. I've got so many boxes everywhere. Let's have a little look. Here we go. All right, so let me just share this with you. You can all see my screen. Is that right? Yeah. So we mentioned earlier about giving John a little plug there. So you can see his EasyDB lab up on the left-hand side. We've also got, we talked a lot about AxonOps. We've got the free version here up to 3 nodes. You can click on there and you can try this out. It's really good. We've got Workbench as well. Lots of things up here. We're running out of time. I haven't got time to go through it all, but if you do want to book one of our experts, you can do that too. And of course, we've got loads of these masterclasses that we've been running over these months, this last year or two. You can have a look and see some of the good things in there. And of course, we've got the next masterclass coming up 28th of January again. We are going to let you know more on that. But I have got, would you believe, I have got one more poll, and we do not want to miss out on this last poll. So I'm going to just get it up and get it out if I can. Here we go. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And let's see. Here we go. Let's get this up. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's just go back and we're going to launch our last poll. So let's get this up for you. Do you plan to try out CQL AI? Are you going to try this out? Here we go. We've got you all voting at the minute. Look at this. Come on. Look at you guys have had a big impact today.
Yes. Wow. I'm installing it as soon as we get off this call. It's going in the lab. It's going in the lab.
Do you just want to just put the link up again as well, so the guys have got that? I think Hayato, you had that up before, didn't you?
Yeah, let me just put it into the chat.
Should we put that into the chat? And so we've got nearly 50% want it immediately. So again, that's brilliant. We'll be following up with everybody as well. We will make sure that you get the links. And again, of course, this is just being recorded, so you can always roll it back and have another look on the on-demand version, which we'll have the links for next week.
Steve, do you want to take a pause there, 2 seconds?
Yep. Yeah, and I have something to share too.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go for it.
No, that's for you. Yeah.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So what I wanted to share was I actually integrated because you can use it for free. AxonOps is actually integrated into EasyDB Lab. So if you sign up for the free trial account and you plug your API key in, when it provisions an environment, it will actually be provisioned with AxonOps ready to go. So if you're like, I don't know if I want to roll this into my an environment, I want to keep everything isolated, EasyDB Lab can fire it up for you. And it's actually what I use for my training program. So I've delivered a training program to a whole bunch of teams. We use AxonOps as the operational tool for it, and it's all integrated. And so the idea behind EasyDB Lab literally was, let's make it as easy as possible to test databases, but put it in as much functionality as possible. So it handles all the stuff for you. So no matter what version you're using, it plugs in the right version of AxonOps, so you can get up and running. And you know, I integrated it because it was pretty much, I was a little sad, and then I was really happy because I was planning on building essentially exactly this tool, and these guys demoed it for me a few years ago, and I was blown away by it, and I said, I'm not going to waste my time building this because I can't improve on it. So that's why that's why I use it, and we've actually also used it for evaluating some Cassandra patches. There was a patch that I worked on. We had a 10x improvement in compaction throughput using, and we were able to verify it with, you know, if you look in the tickets, Cassandra 15452, it's all screenshots of AxonOps. It's what we used. It gives us the high resolution metrics that I wanted. So if you kind of want to either experiment with Cassandra, experiment with some load testing, or experiment with kind of like the tooling, it's a really fast, straightforward way of getting going. And I recently redid the documentation, so hopefully it'll be easy to kind of get up and running. So yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, John. And just on the back of that, this is the final one now. I've got a cheeky poll up there. I didn't even get time to put a title on there, but we've got the question: would you like a free one-on-one CQ Ally AI training session?
Delivered by Steve Benton.
Here we go. Yes, no, there we are. I've been asked to just to check with you if this is something that you would like. So we're going to, there we are. I've got too many eyes in there, by the way. Don't worry, it's just my dyslexia playing again with me. But you know what I mean. All right, there we are. We got yes, we got 11, 2 for no. Excellent. And we still got over 30 people on. We are going to finish shortly, but I did promise that we would finish up on some questions. So guys, you want to quickly have a look? I'm going to end the poll now. Do you want to have a quick look at the questions and see if there's any that we need to follow up on? I think we've got quite a few coming in, actually. In fact, before, you know, you mentioned, John, about the AI hallucinations. We had 1 or 2 people agree 100% on that with you. We've got somebody who said, where do I find the knowledge assistant? Or I think it's assistant. Is that right?
Yep. So the knowledge assistant is my first product. So it's something that will be licensed out to talk to me situation.
That's John's brain.
Yeah, I'm attempting to automate myself. It's a really
on LinkedIn. Is that right? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we find you. Okay, so lots of really good positive feedback. Thanks everybody that said thank you to us. Thank you back for joining us. Awesome talk. Thank you. That was an anonymous. They didn't want to say who they were. And wouldn't mind the training, but don't have the time right now. Do you know what? That's absolutely fine. You know, if you would like the training, just drop a little note to us. Just put it in the Q&A to say, I'd like the training, but I haven't got time now. And we'll drop you a call in the next couple of months. It doesn't have to be January. We can wait until later on next year. All right. Okay. So we are 5 minutes past. We've still got more than 30 people on. Would you believe? That's great. So guys, look, you know, if we've still got the audience, is there anything else that you want to cover? Is there anything else you want to share? John, I cut you a little bit short earlier. Is there anything else that you want to reveal?
No, I think it was good, because honestly, if you get me going again, I won't. I mean, if people have questions, I'm happy to answer questions people have.
Any more questions? Otherwise, we are going to finish up very, very shortly. Okay, I think we're. Oh, there we are. Nope. I
No
think that's
questions?
pretty much
Okay.
it. I think we're pretty much there. So, okay. Well, look, Hayato, any final comments at all from yourself?
No, look, it's exciting times for Cassandra right now. So yeah, great to see lots of people joining the call.
That's brilliant. Okay, well, listen, don't forget, we've got our next masterclass running on the 28th of January. We are going to be focusing on that masterclass on how to back up and restore Cassandra data across clusters using AxonOps. So we're going to be drilling in a lot more into AxonOps. We're going to be looking at new features that allow for fast, repeatable outcomes. We're going to be showcasing live demos that are useful across 3 common operational use cases. So that's going to be really good as well. And to finish up, I think I'm going to just jump up the I'll jump up the QR codes again. Let's get that let's get that shared in case some of you missed it earlier on. Here we go. I'm going to just share that with you. And I just want to say thank you all for coming on. A huge thank you for Hayato and John. Thanks, guys, for sharing with us today. And of course, you, our audience, we really do hope you have a great seasonal break, and we will see you back in the new year. So we hope the session was helpful. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and it's a goodbye from all of us at AxonOps. Take care. See you soon.
Right.